Coming up on this edition of Maximus Aviation's Week in Review, the U.S. government busted a major world airline accused of running a $50 million international smuggling ring operated by some of its employees. For the past 50 years, Southwest Airlines have flown only Boeing 737s, but now comes word that they have been flirting with Airbus over its sexy new A220. How will that affect Southwest's relationship with Boeing? I'll let you know. Well, Rolls-Royce heard that Boeing is exploring a new mid-size aircraft option, and the British engine maker says they want to provide the engines. American Airlines says they are going to give tours of the Boeing 737 MAX in an attempt to calm future passengers' fears of the airplane. Will it work? We'll talk about it. Since returning to the skies after the long lockdown, Southwest has been blocking their middle seats to the tune of a nearly $100 million loss. Now comes word Southwest may have had a change of heart. I'll let you know what they said. Airbus delivers its first A220 assembled in the United States. And in news from Japan, Mitsubishi may be halting the production of its much-delayed space jet. And finally, a retired queen of the skies has a new career as a queen of the screen. The silver screen, that is. All of that and more is next on Maximus Aviation's Week in Review. Greetings everybody, Maximus here. I hope you are all doing well wherever you may be all around this great big world of ours. Welcome once again to another episode of Maximus Aviation News Week in Review. If you're new to the channel, I hope you'll join the Maximus family by hitting that subscribe button and ringing the bell. And don't forget to click the thumbs up if you like. And now, the news. An investigation in the United States has resulted in the indictments of current and former Aeroflot Airlines employees. The indictment alleges the employees helped to smuggle $50 million in stolen electronic devices to Russia from the United States. The defendants allegedly participated in the illegal smuggling of electronic devices, particularly Apple products, from the U.S. to Russia using couriers, many of whom were current and former employees of Aeroflot Airlines. The defendants were members of an international smuggling ring that used a network of operators in the U.S. and Russia to circumvent U.S. export laws and regulations. With these arrests, the network has been disabled. Those charged are alleged to have taken full advantage of their position with the airline to smuggle more than $50 million in stolen electronics to Russia, the Department of Homeland Security said. As a result of the investigation, the Department of State has revoked approximately 113 visas of Aeroflot employees for their participation in the scheme. Search warrants executed at the time of the defendants' arrests revealed over $600,000 in cash, including some hidden in the crawl space of their residence, and large amounts of electronic devices. 10 defendants are being charged with smuggling $50 million worth of electronic devices using current and former Aeroflot airline workers. The devices include iPhones, iPads, and Apple Watches. An inspection of crew members' luggage found millions of dollars worth of electronic devices, many of which had been stolen. For the first time since 1971, having flown only Boeing 737s exclusively, it was reported this week that Southwest Airlines is seriously considering Airbus for its next small jet with seating for 140 to 150 people. We absolutely do need the smaller airplane, Southwest CEO Gary Kelly said during the airline's third quarter earnings call. We have a ton of 737-700s that are coming up for retirement over the next several years. Although Southwest is talking to Airbus, Boeing is still in the running because Southwest is also considering the smaller 737 MAX-7. Also on the call, Southwest Carrier Operations Chief Mike Van de Ven said that Southwest is evaluating Airbus's newly acquired Bombardier product, the A220, along with the MAX 7. CEO Gary Kelly told investors in March of 2019 before the MAX groundings that Southwest would not consider alternatives to the 737. But as the saying goes, what a difference a year makes. The A220 and the MAX 7 are two players in the marketplace, said Van de Ven. Both of those airplanes have their strengths and their disadvantages. The A220-300 can fly up to 160 passengers in a single-class layout just over 3,900 miles according to Airbus. The MAX 7 can carry up to 172 passengers for 4,430 miles, that according to Boeing. The A220 has a maximum takeoff weight of 69.9 tons, and the MAX maximum takeoff weight is 79 tons. A lighter weight jet tends to be more efficient over multiple shorter flights than a heavier one. However, the points guys point out that the A220's seeming advantages over the MAX 7 may not be enough to sway Southwest. The airline is a living example of the benefits of a single fleet, something its leadership has long touted as part of its successful DNA. According to the Wall Street Journal, Rolls-Royce and Boeing are talking about engines for Boeing's proposed new mid-size plane option. Rolls-Royce is very interested in Boeing's new plane idea, and they want to be the one to build the engines for the venture. Rolls-Royce understands that the target of Boeing's new aircraft variant is the Airbus A321neo. Boeing wants to fill that market gap with their equipment and not let Airbus run away with the category. But so far, Rolls-Royce and Boeing aren't speaking publicly about the venture. According to Airways magazine, one analyst said the idea of Boeing considering a new aircraft in the middle of recertification of the MAX as well as the pandemic is simply absurd. The analyst Douglas Harnd said there's not a next-generation engine on the horizon, and engine manufacturers are so cash-strapped that they would probably not be interested in developing a new engine. Well, apparently the British analyst Mr. Harnd hasn't spoken with Rolls-Royce lately because they are very interested. While some analysts may be quick to thumb their nose at Boeing's new potential venture, others believe Boeing needs to follow this path in order to keep up with Airbus. Hard times demand hard decisions, said Ron Epstein, an analyst at the Bank of America. If they want to stay relevant, they have to do a plane. Managing the company just for returning cash to shareholders and cutting costs, that's not going to get them there, he said. In what I think is a great idea, in the coming weeks, American Airlines is planning public tours of the Boeing 737 MAX to help boost the public's confidence in the airplane. American is planning to start flights with employees after Thanksgiving, estimating the FAA will lift the flight ban in mid-November. An American Airlines spokesman said that the company's plans are tentative based on the FAA's decision. American is planning to offer some customers an opportunity after Thanksgiving to tour the aircraft in person at certain airports including Dallas, Fort Worth, LaGuardia, and Miami. Pilots and mechanics will also participate in the tours to help answer questions and soothe worried future passengers. Pilots will also be available virtually to customers to answer any questions they may have through audio and video messaging, the company said. Customers booked on the MAX will be notified and have the opportunity to switch to another flight if they don't feel comfortable. However, the union that represents American's pilots cautioned against promoting the jet's return. The Allied Pilots Association spokesman Dennis Teher said, "There are 346 reasons to be respectful and not have a PR campaign. When the MAX is fixed, fully vetted, when we've been robustly trained, then it will just be time to go and fly the jet." This story comes to us by way of Simple Flying. Since their return to post-pandemic passenger flights, Southwest Airlines have been blocking the middle seat on all their flights. Early on in the process, Southwest didn't feel much of a financial pinch. However, by the end of November, Southwest said it calculated that revenue lost from not selling middle seats could end up costing the airline over $100 million. During Southwest Airlines' third-quarter earnings call, President of Southwest Airlines Tom Nealon said that the cost of blocking the middle aisle seat was inconsequential from July and August. However, when September rolled around, things had changed. Simple Flying reports that in September, Southwest Airlines estimated that the cost of blocking middle seats resulted in $20 million lost in ticket sales. Southwest said they expect another $20 million deficit in October, but they expect the losses to rise exponentially in November, when Southwest expects losses to be between $40 and $60 million. With Thanksgiving being one of the busiest travel periods in the U.S., that will account for the bulk of the November losses. Some estimates have a $100 million loss for the airline in 2020 just from blocking the middle seats. However, Southwest announced on Twitter that after November 30th, they will unblock the middle seats on all of their flights. They emphasized that the decision was not made lightly, and they went into great depth explaining the Harvard research they used to help them come to the decision. Well, the first Airbus A220 assembled in Mobile, Alabama in the United States has been delivered to Delta Airlines, Airbus's largest A220 customer. The CEO of Airbus America, C. Jeffrey Nittles, said, "The delivery of the first U.S.-built A220-300 is a historic moment that highlights Airbus' growing industrial footprint in North America and makes us all extremely proud. We look forward to seeing passengers delighted by the experience of traveling on board this brand new A220-300, proudly built in Mobile, Alabama." According to the Points Guy, the A220-300 is the first stretch version for Delta Airlines, which has only operated the smaller Dash 100 version so far. The A220 has 12 first-class seats, 30 extra legroom economy seats, and 88 economy seats. All seats also have seatback entertainment screens, Wi-Fi, and seat power outlets. The new plane is slated to start carrying passengers in mid-November. Delta's new A220 will be based in Salt Lake City. Mitsubishi Heavy Industries will freeze the development of SpaceJet, its regional jet program formerly known as the Mitsubishi Regional Jet. Sources with knowledge of the decision told Reuters that the plan would be announced along with a medium-term business plan on October 30th. They declined to be identified because the plan is not yet public. In a statement, the company said it's considering various options regarding the program and that on October 30th, a medium-term strategy with concrete plans for the jet are going to be revealed. While the company is pointing at the pandemic, that most likely is not the only reason. At the end of its fiscal year in March 2020, Mitsubishi Heavy Industries reported its first yearly operational loss in 2 decades, caused mainly by the development of the troubled jet. The deliveries of SpaceJet or Mitsubishi Regional Jet were already delayed 6 times, as the aircraft was initially expected to be operational by 2013. The last delay came in January 2020, pushing the service entry date into late 2021. Although the airplane has completed its first flight test in certifiable final configuration, the weight of the world in 2020 may just be too much for the little SpaceJet to bear. And finally, a retired British Airways 747 will begin a second career as a film and TV star in Surrey, England. The 747 registration number George Charles Indigo Victor Whiskey was handed over to Dunsfold Aerodrome, where it will be preserved as a commercial film set and training facility, according to British Airways. Yes, this Queen of the Skies is on her way to becoming Queen of the Screen, the silver screen. According to the Points Guys, the plan is for the 747 to be featured more prominently in front of the camera, especially for interior shots for film and TV. Jim McAllister, chief executive at Dunsfold Aerodrome, said, "The 747 is a unique and important piece of aviation history, and we are excited to be taking delivery of this retired aircraft at Dunsfold Aerodrome. Whilst George Charles Indigo Victor Whiskey will no longer fly, the aircraft will be preserved and given a new lease on life in the world of TV and film, training, and special events." It is expected that in the future, this aircraft will be opened up to the general public for close and personal tours of the Queen of the Screen and Skies. Well, that wraps up another edition of the Maximus Aviation Week in Review. Now it's your turn to let me know down below. Please be sure to comment, like, share, and ring the bell so you can be notified whenever we release new content. And as always, remember, leave the rubber on the runway and your troubles on the ground. And I will see you next time in the air. Yeah, this is Maximus.